thank you so much for organizing such a colorful, interesting, and very pleasant program. And I consider myself very lucky to be in the midst of all these special and wonderful children. I suppose the organizers, they want the parents, the teachers, and the caregivers to know the rights of persons with disabilities. And I suppose that is the reason why I was invited here from the legal family. If I am to talk about these rights of persons with disabilities Act 2016, it will take us the whole day. So that is why I have just handpicked some few sections, and according to that, according to the need of the audience here today, I will be talking about it. So kindly bear with us, children, please. Can you look at me? Am I beautiful? Okay, so just keep looking at me, alright? Okay, I won't take much time, or I have just some few hand-picked sections. So, alright, first thing, the reason why these Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, we'll just say like RBWD Act 2016, this was enacted and introduced. The reason why? It is because persons with disabilities, they should have the right to equality, dignity, and respect for integrity in the society that they are living in. And that is the reason why this act was enacted. Now, do you want me to mention the sections? Okay, alright, so just under this act in section 4, alright. So this act ensures the rights of women and children with disabilities. I am asked to talk about the rights of children only, but then I want to include regarding women and for the adults also. So as in the near future, the audience here, when the children, they grow, they should also know their adult right also. And as a woman with disability, she should also know her own right, and that is the reason why I want to include all this and not just focus on the children only. Now, under section 4, it states, I'll just read it out, that the concerned department or the appropriate government, that is our state government and local authorities, they should take measures to ensure that women and children with disabilities enjoy their rights equally with others. This section, it further states that all children with disabilities have the right to freely express their views on all matters affecting them, and that for this support will be provided to keep in view with their age and disability. Under this act, another special mention is persons with disabilities, they have the right to live in the community. Alright, so in section 5 under this act, it states that the appropriate government shall endeavor that persons with disabilities are not forced to live in any particular living arrangement. That is totally no. For this, for any extra arrangements made for a disabled child or a woman or an adult person, there are some certain rules also. And they are given access to a range of in-house residential and other community support services, including personal assistance necessary to support living with regard to age and gender. Now, this act, this also ensures protection of children with disabilities from abuse, violence, and exploitation. So, under one section of this act, it states that persons of violence, abuse, or exploitation shall be rescued, protected, and rehabilitated. The government is also obligated to create awareness about the provisions and make it available to the public. So regarding this, I don't know how far our state government is creating awareness regarding this, but I'm very sure you must have heard one day or the other regarding abuse and exploitations made to disabled persons, and there has been numerous stories that has been unearthed from time to time. Um, Children with disabilities not to be separated from their parents. That is stated in another section under this Act. It states that no children with disability shall be separated from his or her parents on the ground of disability except on an order from a competent court, if required in the best interest of the child. Under this, I would like to share a story. It did not happen here in our state, but somewhere in a state in India. It so happened that there was a family. They had 3 children, and the middle one, unfortunately, was categorized as a disabled child. Now, the mother herself, she was, very ignorant, and she totally disliked her own daughter. And every now and then, problem arises in the family, and arguments started 24/7 between the husband and wife. And what happened was, at one time, the mother herself even tried to, attempted to kill her own daughter. And that is like how it was more like an animal, I should say, not taking proper care of her own daughter and not giving the love that she requires, and not being educated herself as a mother regarding how to take care of her own daughter. And now what happened is that the husband, one day he was aware of all this. Actually, the husband was not even was posted elsewhere in another state, and that is the reason why for a very prolonged period she was not aware of what was happening to her disabled daughter. But then somehow he got hold of it, and then with no other options, he took help from the court. And the court gave the order for the custody of all the children to the husband, and they divorced. All because the mother herself, did not give the loving care that the disabled daughter wanted to have. So, the disabled children with disabilities not to be separated from their parents, that is what is stated under this Act. Now, again, in another section of this Act, it says that the Act recognizes the reproductive rights of persons with disabilities. Now, this is one very important thing. It states that the government shall ensure that persons with disabilities have access to appropriate information regarding their reproduction and family planning, and that no person with any disability is subjected to any medical procedure which leads to infertility without his or her free and informed consent. Now, this is under Section 10 of the Act. Again, another section under this Act, it states that the Election Commission to ensure that persons with disabilities can cast their vote. So, under this, I think the Election Commission, they are doing a wonderful job, because during the election time, I have noticed in many of the voting centers, they have, created this ramp and everything for free access. And the Act addresses challenges faced by persons with disabilities in accessing the justice system. Now, regarding this legal rights of persons with disabilities, this is where I am an advocate, and I am impaneled as a panel lawyer under the Dimapur District Legal Services Authority. So this is where we come into play. The legal family comes into play. So if any disabled persons, they face any sort of challenges in accessing their justice, then kindly feel free to make necessary arrangements to meet us. We have our office out here in the court. In Dimapur, in the ground floor, we have the front office of the Dimapur District Legal Services Authority. So if any of the parents or if any caregivers, guardians, you are in need of justice for your child, for your ward, kindly feel free to come to us. We will be, giving you free legal services all throughout your, whatever your grievances is. We are here to help you. We are ready. Okay. Now this is another very important thing. Under this Act, educational right of persons with disabilities. Even the speaker earlier, you have made a mention of this. So now this RPWD Act, under Section 16, it says requires the government and the local authorities to ensure that all educational institutions founded to recognize vital, provide inclusive education to the children with disabilities. Now, responsibilities of mainstream schools to ensure inclusive education. I won't focus much on this because you, as the speaker earlier, she has made a complete topic about this. Okay, so under this responsibilities of many schools to ensure inclusive education, just point-wise, every children with disabilities without discrimination. That is one very important thing. Provide education and opportunities for sports and recreation activities equally with others. Make buildings, campuses and various facilities accessible. Provide reasonable accommodation according to the individual's requirement. Ensure that education to persons who are blind or deaf or both is imparted in the most appropriate language, mode or means of communication. Provide transportation facilities to children with disabilities and also the admission of the children with disabilities having high support needs. So if at all any of this is not done, you as a guardian, as a parent, as a ward, as a teacher, you can always file a complaint against it, alright? That will come to it in the later part. Now, measures to be undertaken by the government, by the concerned department and government to make inclusive education a reality. What needs to be done? So, under Section 17 of the Act of the RPWP, it requires the government and local authorities to conduct a survey of school-going children in every 5 years to identify children with disabilities, ascertaining their special needs and the extent to which these are being met. Now, here it also states that establish adequate number of teacher training institutions and train and employ teachers, including teachers with disability who are qualified in sign language and also teachers trained in teaching children with intellectual disability. Train professionals and staff to support inclusive education at all levels of school education. Provide books, other learning materials and appropriate assistive devices to students with benchmark disabilities free of cost up to 18 years of age. Provide scholarships in appropriate cases to students with benchmark disability. So those are some of the few points I've made to be understood in an easy way. Now under this act states five sorts of disability. So just in short, number one disability is the physical disability. So under there we have this locomotor or visual impairment, hearing impairment. Those comes under physical disability. Number two is the intellectual disability. And again in number three we have the mental disability, mental illness. And again, on number four, we have the disability caused due to neurological conditions or blood disorders. And number five is the multiple disabilities. Now, regarding these multiple disabilities, the central government, they may notify at any time any other category as per in it. Okay, let's come to, I'm jumping on to section 25 now. Regarding the healthcare facilities for persons with disabilities. Now, this section it states that the facilities provided will include barrier-free access in all parts of government and private hospitals and other healthcare institutions and centers, priority in attendance and treatment, and subject to income criteria free healthcare in the vicinity, especially in rural areas. Now, measures to be undertaken to prevent the occurrence of disabilities. Under this, it states that the government and local authorities should take measures and make schemes or programs to promote healthcare and prevent the occurrence of disabilities. To achieve this, just some few points. One should, the competent authority, the government should undertake service, investigations and research concerning the cause of occurrence of disabilities, promote various methods of preventing disabilities, and provide facilities for training to the staff at the primary health centers, sponsor awareness campaigns and disseminate information for general hygiene, health and sanitation, take measures for prenatal, postnatal care of mother and child, educate the public through the preschools, schools, primary health centers, village level workers and anonymity workers. Healthcare during the time of natural disaster and other situation of risk. So those are some of the measures to be undertaken to prevent the occurrence of disabilities. Now, coming to the last part, this is very important that you all should be aware of. This is regarding the offences and penalties now, alright? So this is very important. So number one, it states that for the first offences committed under this Act, if you commit the first offence under this Act, a fine of up to Rs 10,000, and for the subsequent offences committed, a fine of Rs 50,000 up to 5 lakhs will be slapped on you. Next, for fraudulently availing benefits meant for persons with disabilities, imprisonment up to 2 years or fine up to Rs 1 lakh or more. Now for insulting, humiliating a person with disability within public view, assaulting or using force with intent to dishonor or outrage the modesty of a woman with disability, denying food or use, sexually exploiting a disabled person, injuring, damaging or interfering with the use of any limbs or sense or any supporting devices, performing, conducting or directing any medical procedures which leads to termination of pregnancy without her express consent, without the consent of the disabled woman, or that of a guardian, and without the opinion of a registered medical practitioner, imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 6 months but may extend to 5 years along with fine. Now the next offences and penalties. For willfully failing to produce any book, account or other documents, or failing to furnish any statements, information or particulars regarding that disabled person, punishment with fine up to Rs 25,000 for each offence, and in case of continued failure or refusal, with further fine up to 1,000 for each day after the date of the original order imposing the punishment of fine. Now, at the end, what can a person with disability do if provisions of these laws are not implemented? Now, what can a person with disability do? Now, it says that one should make representation to the concerned government and or the concerned establishment if there is deprivation or violation of any rights provided under the Disabilities Act. And it also states that if there is no response, or if the response is negative and it's not up to your satisfaction, then you can approach the concerned commissioner of disabilities. And again, it states that alternatively, you can file a writ petition as stated under Article 226 of the Constitution of India in the concerned High Court. You can take the help of, like as stated earlier, you can take the help of us, patent lawyers also. And if at all there is any violation of a constitutional right against that disabled person and of the important information that you want to avail, file a petition under Article 22 of the Constitution, that is before the Supreme Court. That is what you can do. We've just handpicked some few sections, and like jumping from one to another in a very fast pace. So if you wish to further discuss about this Act, kindly feel free to approach us or me. You can take a number from the organizing team and do the next one. Thank you so much for this.